What can we do?
What have we done?
What have we done?
What have we done?
What have we done?
Hi, I'm Patricia. Before recorded history, humans knew singing as a deep source of power. Power to change, power to heal, power to be present with what is. Right here, right now, we are remembering this ancient gift of song, using modern tech to help us tap into resilience and capacity in chaotic, difficult times. Welcome to the 240th episode of A Breath of Song. I am so glad you chose to do this today, which is extra special because Kaitie Ty Warren is joining us for a songwriter conversation. Hi, Kaitie, welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. Again,
so
yay.
Cool. We are here to find more ways to sing songs that help us heal, adapt, and grow. Each of our voices is exactly what's needed for this. I'm coming to you straight from my home in what is now called Burlington, Vermont, on the unceded homelands of the Abenaki people, on sand plains between the Winooski River and Lake Champlain. Kaitie, can you tell us where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm on Ohlone land, which is now called East Bay, California.
All our voices will turn up as they are today. Kaitie's, mine, yours. No matter what, we can feel the connection to our breath and vibration in our body. Let's find how good it can feel to sing. Last week I shared Kaitie's song, My Body is Perfect. Yes. Today, love that song.
Yes.
Today, Kaitie will be teaching us What Have We Done? We'll learn it slowly so it can settle inside you. You can begin to trust it as a resource. Let it move you into a state of flow. Then we get to enjoy a conversation with Kaitie, and we'll close out with the song again at the end. You can always find this episode with full show notes and artwork in the Library of Songs at abreathofsong.com. So let's start with just a good yawn stretch. Oh, maybe rolling your shoulders. Stretching into your back, whatever feels good right now. Find where your body wants more space. Oh, and lengthen into it. Oh, allow the breath to release. Yeah, let's make some oohs and ahs, sort of sliding up and down your spine. Fabulous. Kaitie, I'm going to turn it over to you to share the song.
Oh gosh. Right. This song it's a big one. So buckle up.
Yeah. Yay.
Shall I share it and then we'll talk about the origins of it?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so here's part one. What have we done? 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 What can we do? Shall I do that again? What have we done? 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 What can we do? All right, consider that part one. This isn't even going in the looper yet. We're just teaching it.
Yeah.
Here's part two. What have we done? 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 This is a 5-part song, and I don't always teach all 5 parts, but I'm gonna let you know what they all are. There's a middle droney kind of part that's almost like a rumination in the background, and it goes like this. And I fear we've gone so far, I fear we can't get back to who we are, and who we are is simple. We remember we're all one. And I fear we've gone so far, I fear we can't get back to who we are, and who we are is simple. We remember we're all one.
I love that part.
You made a great face, but I don't know what you said.
I love that part.
Oh, good. All right, and then I'm gonna teach you where it ends up. Let me see if I've even put it in the right key. I'm gonna be really earthy with this one. And I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending. And I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending. And then there's one harmony that I have officially created, but people add their own harmonies all the time. You want to hear the harmony now?
Absolutely.
Let's see if I can do these low notes today. And I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending. And I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending. All right, well, we'll raise it when we put it in the looper, but it is nice to have that one be really earthy. Earthy sounds are really grounding, and I like it. Also, I like that those two harmonies together actually create some dissonance, which I think is really appropriate in this case, and in most cases, to be able to sing dissonance and hang with that.
Beautiful.
All right, should we raise it up a little bit and put it in the looper? I'm going to take my key off of the low notes from that one part, because that's as low as the song goes. I was telling another friend who's learning to teach it, for your voice, you might want to figure out the highest note and pitch it there. But for me, it's the low one. So, and I know there's a story waiting. Okay. What have we done? That's where we're going to start.
Perfect.
What have we done? 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 What can we do? What have we done? 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 What can we do? What have we done? 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 What can we do? What have storm. What have we done to what we waited for? What we are is what have we done? And I know so far there's a storm. What have we done to what we waited for? What we are is what to right the and I know so far there's a storm. What have we done to waiting for? We are is to right the and I know so far there's a storm. What have we done to waiting for? We are is to right the and I know so far there's a storm. Go back to waiting for. We are is to right the and I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending, and I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending, and I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending.
Oh, yay. What is amazing to me, Kaitie, is how calm and hopeful I feel after singing this song, even though it starts with "What have we done?" which feels like such a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering where it came from, how you felt when you wrote it. How does it feel now when you sing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me start with where it came from, because that's important. Are you familiar with the song Senzenina?
Yeah.
Okay. For those who are listening, if you're not familiar with it, please go check it out. So this is a South African apartheid song. Senzenina. Senzenina means what have we done? And the really dominant color, there's a lot of verses, and it's just an incredible song, but a dominant color is like, what have we done to deserve this? And at the time, I was singing with Vukani Mwetu, which is a South African choir in Oakland. And I was also in the early days of leading living room choir. And I just so fell in love with this song. And I talked to the song leaders of Vukani Mwetu, as well as the choir members themselves, and said, you know, what would it be like for a pale-skinned Californian girl to teach a song like this? I don't know that I should be doing that, but I just love this song. Like, what do you think? And they unanimously said, go do it, in solidarity. And I was like, okay. And I considered it, and I made teaching tracks, and I tried it once, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
I don't think so. But there's something in here that I'm connecting with so strongly. And that's part of what I love about learning songs from cultures other than my own, is it just builds bridges. And if you handle it with respect, it can be such I was going to say unifier, but that's not quite what I mean. A bridge builder, really.
Yeah.
And I just felt this incredibly strong connection with this song over so many years. Like, this was so many years ago. And just sort of carried that question with me for a long time. Like, how could I, I don't know. It's not about carrying it. It's just about, songs have medicine, and sometimes they will tell you, I want to be sung. I want my medicine here. And sometimes you have to be like, sorry, I can't carry that particular medicine to this particular crowd or whatever. But the question lived on in me, and the medicine lived on in me. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking, I think I've just gotta make a version of what speaks to me about it. And then I talked with Kaitie Nitoto, who's an African-American singer, song leader in Oakland, who grew up with music from all different parts of Africa. I really trust his judgment when it comes to music from that continent, and I trust his judgment when it comes to like a white or white passing person sharing this music. And I also know that he knows these songs. And so we were just having this conversation, and I was like, what I've always struggled with is Senzenina, because I really, really like just resonate with this song. And he very quickly was like, well, you just have to write your own What Have We Done song. I was like, I know. I think that's what's happening here. Senzenina, it has a lot of complexity, like most music I'm drawn to. But like I said, one of the dominant sort of qualities is, what have we done to deserve this? And I think singing from the perspective of a pale-skinned person living in the States, the obvious biggest dominant quality needs to be, what havoc have we wrought? What damage and wreckage have we done? And the horror of that, and the like moment of like just kind of looking around and be like, oh my God. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this podcast, but it's that moment, Oh my fucking God.
I don't think Apple is paying that much attention.
Okay, great. Yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of us have had so many of those moments.
Yeah.
I've had people come up and thank me for this song, because they're going, I'm having those moments, but I haven't been able to sing about it yet. And that second, part 2, that really invites the kind of wailing quality of like, what have we done? Like, I really invite people to go there if that feels good in their bodies. And I just think it's important. And then this song has this, like you pointed out, this like incredible arc to it, where by the end of it, when I've taught it in live in-person groups, almost invariably, people move their bodies on that last part toward each other. They encircle anybody who's still sitting. They're looking at each other in the eyes. Sometimes they take each other's hands. This is not stuff I'm directing, This is what's organically happening within the song. So what I've noticed about the end of it is that if the group is already in a place of grief from a different song or from a different moment, and I start singing, and I know, people go right there. They're like ready for it. Something about the combination of gentleness and the call to action of showing up to write the story, and the hope of like, I know that there's a story. Like, there's just some beautiful combination that invites people to show up, usually still with tears in their eyes or whatever grief has just moved through them, but they're showing up and they're really open-hearted. And I usually step away feeling a lot of joy, which is kind of incredible. I also want to say that when this song came through, it was the days leading up to the day of mourning, also known as Thanksgiving. And it felt really time sensitive. It was like, okay, this has to land now, And I wasn't even fully prepared to teach it at that time, but I was like, it has to be a Thanksgiving song / day of mourning. Because what have we done on this continent? Like, we're over here, like, worrying about all the other continents so much and fighting so hard, and that's beautiful. But, like, look right here. Yeah. Right here. What have we done? Also.
Just this morning, I read 2 bits of news back to back. One about the fact that the probe that went to Mars may have brought a fungus
Oh, God.
and left a fungus on the surface of Mars.
What have we done?
What have we done? Exactly. I'm thinking to myself, honestly, do we not know yet how dangerous that can be? And then
I mean, the thing is, we do. So what are we doing?
What are we doing? What have we done? Yeah,
What are we doing? I don't know. Like, it's it's
Yeah.
widely applicable, really.
It is widely applicable. It feels like there are
Unfortunately.
many places. And then the mining of the deep ocean for
Oh my gosh, I know.
metals.
I know. I can't. The list is so incomprehensibly. We as finite humans cannot zoom out wide enough or wrap our little human, sweet, wonderful brains around the enormity of this, the immensity of this. I think now I'm kind of coming to that middle part of that, like, oh my God, I fear we've gone. You know, that part that I fear we've gone so far. When I first wrote it, it was, and I fear we've gone too far. And then between the time I recorded it and first taught it, there was like 6 new things we had done in the news that I was like, well, we've definitely gone too far. I don't even want to sing I fear we've gone too far because that's just obvious.
We have. Right.
Because clearly, long ago,
Right.
long ago, and we're still going for some reason.
Right.
And so then I just changed it to, and I fear we've gone so far, I fear we can't get back to who we are. And who we are is simple. We remember we're all one. That seemed sort of deceptively, I was like, you sneaky little lyric. What the heck? How did you, is that really, what? Like, nothing is ever simple like that. But I actually think in this case, it might be. Or I don't know that it, you know, that's a complex idea to be all one. Not in like a toxic positivity, like we're all one kind of way, but like, actually, you are me and I am you. And actually, nature is me and I am nature. And actually, you know, like really grappling with the nuanced reality.
I think one
that.
of the most deeply reassuring things to me is that we are natural beings.
What? Amazing.
Amazing.
Cool. It would be so cool if we had more access to the natural world because we are natural beings.
Yeah, exactly.
If we had like more connection with it. Yeah.
And I
and
feel
more
like when
respect
we
for it.
realize that, how deep that goes and
Yeah.
how inseparable we are and that we are one with
Yeah.
this planet and with this universe.
Mm-hmm. It's so, it is beyond my current language capacity right now, apparently. But yeah, it really is.
So the last time you were on A Breath of Song was episode number 55.
And you're at 200 something now.
240. I think this
Wow.
is 240.
Congratulations.
So thank you. That was June 22nd, 2022.
I know.
So I really enjoyed going back and listening to it. And
Yeah,
the song
good.
you shared then, Everything is Changing, is one that I have shared with so many people
Oh,
over the
good.
past 4 years because it seems to be always applicable. Because it's always true.
Another always applicable song.
Exactly. So the first thing that I really need to know, following up from that, however, is have you had any time at the beach lately? And how is your kid doing?
I went on a sailboat recently. I don't know if that counts as the beach, but in 2 weeks I'm going to go to the beach in SoCal, where my family's from. So I will have some beach time coming up. And how's my kid? Is that the other question?
Yes.
She's awesome. She's awesome. And like, let me not immortalize something she's going to listen to later, but this parenting thing, this parenting thing is so uniquely challenging. And I think that in addition to the unique challenge of just being a parent, that my particular parental circumstances have some unique challenges and also some really cool things. She's just a really unusual kid in really remarkable ways, which is very eye-opening for me because I'm also unusual. Turns out. But I think a lot. So she's 5 now. I think a lot about the difference between dominant culture and the culture that I'm raising her in, by raising her in community singing culture and the way that I walk through the world. I very deliberately entered into community singing culture like, oh, this is actually where I want to be. And after a while was like, oh, this is where I would want to raise a kid. And so she has kind of a unique pathway having me as her parent, because she's being brought up not in dominant culture, but of course living within dominant culture. And I think a lot of us who find each other have some version of that,
Yeah.
We're like, oh yeah, dominant culture actually doesn't work for a lot of us.
Tell me how you would describe community singing culture.
Well, now it's the water I swim in, so now it's getting harder for me to be like, yeah,
Yeah.
what is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just how the world is now, more and more, which is fabulous. Okay.
As distinct from dominant culture, I guess. That would be the
Right.
most helpful stuff to
Right.
tease
It's
out.
almost easier for me to describe dominant culture. Okay, so here's what I say, like if I'm doing an orientation or talking to somebody who's kind of newly on the scene with my choir or something like that. I say, this might feel different in your body and your brain than what you're used to, because most of the people who are here have been raised in our dominant culture, which is a supremacist culture. It's a colonial culture. Things are very divided, and a lot of things have become very competitive, including music. And people are invited into music or kept out of music according to things like so-called talent, with quotes. And we just don't do any of that here. We just don't. So there's going to be a few things that feel different. One is that you are as uniquely valuable as you ever are, even if you show up late. And this is unique to my particular container, that it's okay for people to show up late and leave early or whatever. But I say, like, if you haven't been here in 3 weeks and then you show up, we're going to be just as happy to see you as if you've been here the whole time. We know everybody is grappling with unsuitable conditions out in the world, so we want you to feel nourished when you come in here. This is, as to the best of our abilities, is a judgment-free zone, so we invite you to consider that for yourself, but also consider it for others. We're going to ask that you not comment on people's voices, even if it's to tell them that their voice is so great. Don't do it, because everybody has their stories, and you don't know what somebody else is holding. And that we are a gender expansive, neurodiversity affirming culture, and we are not going to tell you which part you need to sing in. You can find the one that fits your voice that day. You can find the one that feels good to your body. We're not going to tell anybody they're doing it wrong, but we're also working on group harmony. And so if you are disrupting the harmony, we will have a conversation with you, because the goal of meeting together is to have this group harmony. And that's not just musical,
Yeah.
So, you can show up the way you are, how you are, who you are, within that limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also talk about oral tradition teaching, because I think that feels different in people's brains as well. I think you already know, and a lot of people know this about me, that I started my community singing journey as a leader. I started it while I was recovering from a brain injury, and I'm kind of a brain and anatomy nerd. And I care a lot about how people's nervous systems feel, and it's really challenging to achieve safety for a lot of people because everything's so hot right now.
Yeah.
And so I mentioned that too, and I mentioned, like, oral tradition teaching is going to feel different in your brain than presumably the kind of teaching you were raised with in dominant culture. Please be patient with yourself. If someone else is picking it up more quickly than you, maybe they've been here longer. Also, they have a different brain than you. You have no idea. And to approach each other with curiosity, because we do drop into that we are all one space, and things become very fluid. And then in that all one space, it feels so good, and we're so open that when we step on each other's toes, it really hurts. And we will step on each other's toes because we don't know how to be in community. This was not modeled for us in the last several hundred years, and we're figuring it out. And even in being super healthy communities, you're still going to step on each other's toes.
That's what I was just
So
thinking. That's part of it.
That's
part of
part of
being in
it.
community is being stepped on and stepping
Yeah.
on and knowing how to repair and being able to make
Exactly.
space for
Exactly.
repairing those things, or saying, ouch, ooh, so
Yeah.
that somebody can move off your toes. or you
Right.
can move off somebody else's toes.
Right. And to know that that is not a sign that something's gone wrong, and that is not a sign that anybody is bad or needs to
Yeah.
be ashamed. And, there's really wonderful group learning happening about this right now culturally, I think, which is
Yeah.
so great. Yeah, I could go on, and I do sometimes about these things, but I think that it's really important to consider and be intentional about this, because as community leaders, as movement leaders, and as song leaders, we are in fact culture builders. And it's really clear to me that our dominant culture is not working. We know that it has not been working for a long time for a lot of people, but the awareness about it is at the level now where it really is crumbling, which is so scary and so alarming. And that, like, oh my gosh, the only thing we've ever known is not happening the way we expect it to happen anymore, and it's sending people into panic. And I do feel like a lot of what we're doing, or what I'm doing, my personal side of the street in all of this, a lot of this, my lane, is to try to bring my best self and my best intentions and my best practices, which are constantly updating, because I'm always learning from other people.
Everything is changing.
Everything is changing. Life keeps rearranging. To bring that to a new culture that feels different is not new. It's a remembering of an ancient culture that we are wired for. And it's, for some people, it was never lost. And for a lot of us who look like me, it has been lost. And to restitch that back together in a way that works for us today, and in a way that's constantly evolving to continue, hopefully growing, to continue to work for us. And as a collaboration, and to just try to, like, show people, hey, there is a space where your nervous system could feel safe. And I take a great deal of care before I send people back out into the world because of that.
You live with chronic health conditions, right? From the brain injury and other things. You're also the mother of a young child, as we just said, a 5-year-old girl. Could you talk a little bit about how you approach your own individual flourishing and care and tending?
Yeah. Wow. Being the parent of a 5-year-old child does not make it easy. And it's something I'm struggling with right now. I think your question presumes that I'm flourishing. Which often I don't know that I am. I think on the spectrum of how my body has coped with the world, I'm doing quite well. But that's on my personal spectrum and what I've been through. And it is not compared to a person who doesn't live with conditions like mine.
I think that's flourishing.
Oh, really? Maybe I need to adjust my standards.
I think of flourishing as a very individual condition.
Interesting. I am so curious to think about that more. I think that a lot of us who have chronic conditions, which are basically dynamic disabilities, and I've had them since I was a child. They've, of course, evolved, as have I. But I spent a lot of time feeling different than, other than. Again, dominant culture doesn't work for me. The pace of it doesn't work for me. A lot of the practices within it don't work for me. And my body gives me very real information about when things are not working for me.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've had various healers say, or mentors say something like, you're sensitive and that's a gift and you get to learn what doesn't work for you. And I was like, actually, this is horrible. It's isolation. It's impairment. For me, I was like, why are you talking about that this is a blessing? Great, I get to be the canary in the coal mine. I know before the rest
The canary
of you.
keels over.
Exactly. That doesn't
Yeah.
work out well for the canary.
Right.
You know? Okay, so I can be the Cassandra who's being like, hey guys, this is unsustainable, and nobody's listening. Awesome. Who
Right.
wants to sign up for that?
No,
You know?
nobody. Right.
So I feel very, very lucky that I have been brought in the current of life, circumstances one after another, to a place where I get to mostly do work that works with my system really well. Mostly. And sometimes I push too hard. But mostly I get to do a livelihood that is extremely beneficial for the people it's impacting, including me. And it doesn't just have to be like I'm depleting myself for them. You know, it's really, I started this work because it was so nourishing for me, and I was really hesitant to turn it into a livelihood because I didn't want it to become stressful. But it does certainly have its stressors, like any job does, as you know, right? But it is so nourishing that it does actually offset a lot of the stressors. It's just so incredibly rewarding. So to answer your question about how am I flourishing, well, a lot of it is community singing. It is both the singing and the community.
Yeah.
I outsource a lot now. I ask for help a lot now.
Beautiful. One of the reasons I asked you that question is because I think it's another one of those things where we're all on spectrums. And being on a spectrum means that what's useful to one person might also be useful to you. That listening to what works for other people might also, with some adaptation, be really helpful to yourself. So I'm asking out of purely selfish reasons, because I'm always looking for what's working for somebody else, because I find I also have a body that is very reactive. And I have a history that is complicated, and
A lot of sensitive people do have these things. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to body work. I have to get body work so often, and that's expensive. The whole reason I live in the Bay Area, I moved here for the healers. There's incredible healers here. And they keep me alive. Alive and able to move and able to function. And
well, I am so glad.
Yeah, me
so
too.
Glad.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out.
Makes me very happy.
Shout out to the body workers.
So you mentioned that there are some things that are fatiguing and some things that are that give energy. Do you have any sense of what the specifics of those are? Like what when you look at the job of song leading, what is it that's most challenging? I think it's pretty obvious that the singing and the being in the group and the actually being in circle is probably one of the most energizing things. Maybe. But I'm going to leave that up to you.
A lot of the time. Yeah, not always, but definitely a lot of it is that. I keep having this story pop into my head, and it's kind of distracting me from answering your question. So can I tell you the story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I love your facial expressions, Patricia. You're like, okay.
Whatever.
Why not?
Go, Kaitie.
And that flexibility of, two humans being in the moment with each other from however many miles apart. It doesn't matter how far apart we are. We're still in this moment together. Yeah. That flexibility is actually one of the things that helps my nervous system and helps my body. So thanks. Because it's all about what's happening in the moment between us. Yeah. That's why this kind of music is so alive. I think, I don't know why this story is tapping me on the shoulder, but maybe we'll find out. A long time ago, back before I was a song leader, I lived in an apartment that had, the whole apartment building had little tiny, tiny, cute little cockroaches. They weren't like the big, gross ones. They were, depends on your tolerance for bugs. They were like these tiny little guys. And I was like, first it was just a couple, and I would carry them outside. And then there was more. And, and then the landlord was like, we're going to fumigate. And I was like, please don't fumigate, because I will react to the fumigation. Right. Oh my God.
Yeah, I will die.
Yeah. Don't fumigate me, please. But my father has a history working with nonviolence and nonviolent practices through his temple and through his philosophies. So I remember having this conversation with him where I was really struggling with this idea. We were talking about the profundity of we're all one and how complex a notion that is. I think that might be where this story came up. The idea that we're all one. I'm like, I share this planet with cockroaches. Who am I to say that you don't get to be here just because somebody put a frickin' apartment building right here? And, right. Whatever. That's just money, That's not who gets to live here. And I'm like, clearly the cockroaches cannot live in my kitchen. Like, this is actually unacceptable. um, and also, like, I don't know, I was just really struggling with that. And I remember talking to him about it because I kind of wanted his permission to, like, get rid of the cockroaches, I think, or something. I was like, how do I hold this concept of ahimsa, this nonviolence that is so profound that we recognize that I am you and you are me in everything we do? How do I do that to these bugs who are making it unsanitary for me to use my kitchen? I can't reconcile these things. And he was like, well, it's unkind to yourself to not have a sanitary place to eat. Like, like you have to include yourself. And I was like, myself. I actually have to do the action of taking care of myself, and that includes having a safe place. In this case, it was a safe kitchen, but that also includes things like a safe community or safe, you know, like who do you share what with, and who do you spend your time with, and like we really, things are so polarized that the act of coming into a place of trust is, I think there's some work involved now. And to hold on to yourself while opening up to someone else.
Yes.
I don't know. I just think it's really complex. And we do it musically all the time when I'm singing one part and you're singing another, like in a layer song like this one, where we're singing different parts, but we're in the song together. And can I really fully own my part and not have you pull me off it while also listening to your part?
Yeah.
Like, maybe not. Maybe I need to actually go where other people are singing my part for a while, you know? Or maybe I can. Maybe I can go look you in the eye while we're singing two different parts.
It's really interesting that as leaders, we tend to be, I don't know about you, but I'm okay with people saying, actually, I need to be with somebody else. I always leave that free. You can go over and if we're wandering the room, you can buddy up. You don't need to wander the room and be solo on your part. And I have no hesitation with that kind of support for other people while we're singing, or for myself while I'm singing. I have
That's
no
what I was wondering,
hesitation.
is do you do it for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. But not outside of singing. I've learned how to do it singing, but in the outside of singing world, when I'm no longer moving in the community singing space that I've had a big part in creating, and where I've set up a culture, I have a lot more trouble allowing myself to need a partner for something. Yeah.
I think that we practice everything we have to do in life. I think we practice it while singing.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything. That's a big claim. But a lot of the stuff that we have to practice to move through the world, there's opportunities to practice it in singing. And if you are already like, I can give myself a buddy, or like for me, it's like, I can give myself teaching notes, or, you know, whatever the support is that I need to be successful in showing up in my full right size to do my part. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then like, oh, if I bring some attention and intention to the fact that I'm already building those muscles in what feels like such a safe space of a community choir, that then maybe I can actually bridge that to my outside life. It took me years. I told you I ask for help a lot now.
Yeah.
I'm like 11 years into doing this work. I ask for help now. You know, I didn't before, you know?
Yeah. So I'm curious, one of the things that is, as an East Coast song leader, I have to say, having met up with some other East Coast song leaders, we do experience a little bit of jealousy when we look at the West Coast. There's a little bit of, oh, look at them all together doing their song village. Look at them all together, you know, going to each other's things, and how easily they're gathering. And we're looking to build that kind of interconnection and ability to get to go to somebody else's circles sometimes. I'm curious, when you've been present in other people's song circles lately, what have you seen people doing where you're like, ooh, that's a great idea?
I'm going to mention the retreats that I get to work at with Heather Houston. Those have really inspired me. And one of the things that I love that she does, because they're weekend-long retreats, it's like Thursday to Sunday, and long days, long hours of singing. And I really appreciate that she builds in not only breaks, but actual silent time. She's like, here's a break. Don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Between now and bedtime or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much content and so many songs and so much energy. And because community singing just kind of took off in this new way in recent years, so there's a lot of like really new excitement about it. But this was true even before, that it would turn into a feeding frenzy because nobody wants to miss a song. Nobody wants to like be left out. Nobody wants to not be there for that last song circle of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really hard to slow it all down because we're never going to get to it all, but we try. You know? So I love that Heather really builds in spaciousness in what she does. And it's so hard for me to do it as much as she does. I'm trying. I'm working on it.
I feel like that's another thing that I could bring out of the community singing culture specific and bring it just into my life.
Absolutely. It's another counterculture thing.
Yeah.
Because in capitalism, we live at a race pace all the time. So to do things at a different pace is kind of revolutionary.
And I think that kind of slides in remarkably smoothly and silkily into my question about getting overwhelmed by the many, many, many fabulous songs that are out there. And I'm wondering what your current approach is to, I get torn, you know, between the idea of staying local and in relationship with people and singing the songs of people that I know, whom I've met, and the songs from all over the place that I'm hearing and seeing and, you know, running across on some rabbit hole on YouTube.
Yeah.
How are you approaching
the internal feeding frenzy?
The gluttony of songs.
It's not gluttony. It's like, you know, when like you throw a handful of fish food in the water and all the fish are like, I don't want to miss this, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that. That's what it feels like to me. Like who? Of course. Because you might... Like, we've been so starved for harmony in our culture for so long. Of course, we need all of it now, you know? We're, like, desperate for it. I will say that the person who saved me from losing my mind about this was Laura Sandage. You know who she is?
Yes.
So, yeah. So Laura was song leading years before I came into it, and she had done CCLT with the Ubuntu Choirs Network years before I got there. And after I did CCLT, I was still up north. I was still in Seattle. And the way that you look at the West Coast, I look at Victoria, BC. I'm like, you guys you're doing the thing. Like, you are singing every night in every neighborhood. That's what it feels like, you know, as a visitor. And Vancouver, too.
They're also West Coast to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Okay, fair. Fair. But yeah, I definitely have had that experience. I think also there's a lot more song leading now locally, and Santa Cruz. I'm close to Santa Cruz. There's a ton there. Anyway, so I had just done the community choir leadership training in Victoria, BC, and that's like a 2-week thing where you're going all day, every day. I was still recovering from concussion. I was trying very hard to interact with things at a pace that was reasonable for myself, but the whole thing is like so much. It's just so much. And, you know, and now I'm certified. I'm a certified song leader. I'm going to go home and be, you know, like there's this kind of, okay, now what? And I had a phone call with Laura while I was still traveling. I had just left Victoria, but I hadn't gotten home yet. And she said, listen, there are always going to be so many songs. So many songs. You can't actually get them all. You can't get them all, and you can't hold them all, and you can't sing them all. And so here's what I want you to do is just trust that the ones that are meant for you will surface. Because she knew, she's done CCLT. She was like, you are probably archiving in your brain hundreds of songs from these 2 weeks. Maybe don't try to remember all of them. Don't try. See what happens when you don't try, and which ones come to the surface, and then those are yours to teach. Those are yours to carry. And I really try to practice that because I generate a lot of songs. Like I caught a song right before I signed on here and was like, okay, record it really quick and then like sign on. They come up in the dreams. I get a lot of dream songs. I try to record every single one of them, but I only go back and visit them if they're still tapping me on the shoulder. And that's true for when I hear songs that other people are leading or other people have written, is that I might be really moved in the moment, but then I can't recall it. Or it's like, okay, that was good medicine for the moment, now moving on. And if it comes back to me repeatedly, then I'm like, oh, you're part of my practice. Thanks for getting my attention. Now I got to go research you and learn you, you know? And for the song library, I know you've talked about the podcast. I created my song library for the same reason that you're creating this podcast.
Yeah.
So I really relate. But that one, because there's so much administrative work, I can't I can't even match my own desired pace with that, really. I'm starting to get more administrative help now, so maybe that will change. But that one, it's like I will add songs if I have recorded it for a session for choir, or if it's recorded on my Patreon. And otherwise, I probably will just keep the song in my heart and sing it live. Yeah, there's a whole administrative hurdle that happens when you are trying to like archive something or share it on a certain platform or something. So that's logistical barriers to getting all the content, you know.
And in some ways, I think that's helpful, because if they were all in your library, it would be an overwhelming place to look at. One of the things I've been trying to do with the podcast is highlighting 1 year at a time pages where there's just the artwork. So you go and you're immersed in this beautiful space of Patty Piotrowski's paintings. And, you know, you can choose a painting that appeals to you.
Oh, that's cool.
And then see what the song is. So there are fewer than 50 songs on a page, because it's getting to be so numerous that I get kind of overwhelmed. I look back at it and I think, holy schmoly.
I'm getting to the point now where I will build a new teaching page and go to put it on there and then realize that I have already built that teaching page 2 or 3 times already. I have no memory of doing it. I'm like, okay, you know what? You know, I try to let things grow at the pace of nature when I can, but that's not always doable in our culture. And that means my nature a lot of the time. Yeah, it's tricky. We're having to change a lot of systems in my choir community because it grew really fast recently. And I think that's because of the way there's been this kind of cultural awareness spike. Is that the word I want? Like a spike in the graph of cultural awareness of what community singing is. And so all of a sudden, a lot of people are finding it wherever they are, which is awesome. But my sort of homegrown systems for keeping track of who is enrolled don't work when the choir is 3 times as big. So there's some like, okay, now the admin has to catch up because nature grew really quickly, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Sometimes nature can be bursty, fast.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes nature falls over. I mean, you know, I'm thinking about things that there are some plants that burst up and then they fall over early, you know, or I think one of the things that I tend to forget about when I'm recognizing that I'm part of the natural world is that things keel over and things die. And plants get trodden on. And, you know, that part of the natural world means letting go of the idea that we're supposed to always be in peak thriving moment. Because that's not how anything in nature is. It's not, it's always changing.
It's always changing.
It's always in flux.
Nothing is created or destroyed. Energy is not created or destroyed, but it's transformed.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm still not really comfortable with or well versed in how to edit and let go, how to drop my leaves, as it were. Yeah. You know, I definitely have an archivist side where I want to save everything. You might have that too.
Possible.
Possible, yeah. You know, and I think there's a lot of value in that, but learning how to trim what's not of service, that's a learning curve I'm on right now, and it's challenging.
Yeah.
It's really challenging for me. There's a fabulous documentary by Tom Shadyac, who is famous for being a comedy director back in, like, I don't know, a couple decades ago. But this documentary called I Am is his work when he had a concussion and had very similar awakenings to what I had when I was in my concussion. He's interviewing a lot of people who have thought a lot about, like, what is the through line for all this different kind of wreckage that you see around us? What's the sort of center of it? It's a beautiful documentary and thought-provoking and clarifying for a lot of the questions that I think some of us are asking right now.
We will link it in the show notes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I have not been able to find it streaming anywhere, but if you're local to me, you can borrow my DVD. Okay. But the term wetiko is something that has been really useful for me to wrap my head around, and I'm sorry that I don't know which peoples that word comes from, but it is a Native American peoples had this word, that when they saw the European colonizers arriving, that they recognized very quickly that these people were, and they say in the movie, quote, infected with wetiko. That wetiko is actually a mental illness that has the person hoarding more than they can use.
The hungry
which
ghost.
Is right, the hungry ghost. And so much of, like, wait, anywhere else in nature this would be called a cancer. Like, why are we celebrating it? It's so incredibly unbalanced.
Yes.
Yeah, I just appreciated having a word for it, because once you can name something, the hungry ghost or wetiko, or something, you're like, oh, I have a word for it. Now I can recognize it, and now I see that, like, my lineage is just steeped in this, and it's actually an illness. And once you get a diagnosis, then you can, like, learn about it. You can, like, make some actions here and there to try to recover or support your journey with it.
Yeah, I love that. All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're excited about right now that you'd like to share?
Sure. I'm excited for a couple of projects that are en route to being shared.
Yeah.
I mentioned I make a lot of music, and that's true I make a lot of different stuff. I just make stuff. But the act of sharing is its own thing.
It's a separate thing. Yeah.
It's a separate thing.
It is.
And I'm on a journey toward getting more comfortable with it. It's hard, but it's hard logistically, and sometimes there's energetic or emotional stuff that makes it hard too. But the logistics themselves, coupled with what I have found out more recently, that I have ADHD, and I'm like, oh, that's why. If something is more than 2 steps, it's really hard for me to do it. That's why this is working the way that it's working. Okay. And so I've been able to set myself up for more success and a lot less judgment around the, getting things done with air quotes, as well as, like, how do I best work? How do I feel most confident moving through these processes? So yesterday, a friend helped push me across the finish line just to get one song on Bandcamp. Like, how many years has it been that I've been trying to get on Bandcamp? This file's too big and that file's too small and this thing needs a whatever, and now you lost your password and starting over again. That kind of thing happens to me. Yeah. And my friend was like, I need your music. And I was like, cool, I'm locking in, because if it's about you needing my music, then I will actually do it. And they sat with me and periodically took the computer out of my hands to do the part that was hard. And then handed it back to me. I cannot do this alone. Yeah. I don't know, there's fine print, it's dense. Can you just tell me what it says? Yeah, so I just got my first single on Bandcamp yesterday, and guess what song it is? This one.
Yay! We will link it. We will link it. Absolutely.
So I'm hoping that now that that's out there, that I will be able to share more music on that particular platform. I desire to have my music somewhere that people can stream it, because it is in my library and it's on my Patreon, but that's a separate thing for the person to go try to access, right? And then I also am really close to finishing my second songbook, which I'm excited about. I think it's going to be a really good one. And I just built East Bay Song Fest, which just mounted in April for the first full weekend, and it was successful, and we're going to do another one next year, next April. April 2027, April 16th, 17th, 18th in Berkeley. So
Put it on your
date and
calendars.
come on over. Yeah. So that was exciting because I really like those longer retreat style deep dives, but a lot of them are not actually accessible for me because of my conditions, that my body can't do it.
Yeah.
And can't do it comfortably and can't do it safely. And then I feel really left behind and really sad. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So building one that works better for my system where it's local, and also because we didn't have one here. And there, as you have pointed out, there's so much singing right here.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. I also teach at Berkeley Adult School, and that community is growing a lot too. And I'm building a curriculum for a song leader training program that I'm really excited about, because I think I have a lot to share in that department, and I really care about this being done well.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I'm just really excited about that. And it sort of just feels like it's on the brink of being ready to be like a thing on a piece of paper that I can share more widely. It's already on paper, but it's about to get scheduled. You know, it's just right on the edge. I'm excited about it. Yeah. So lots of stuff. Always making lots of stuff.
I love the idea that you make things, that's kind of who you are, what you do. And you make
I'm
things.
starting to embrace that. That's also learning more about my own neurotype and how I work in the world. And then also having Heather Houston reflect to me, I know you're a visionary. Like, I can't tell myself that, but having a mentor say it to me, who's a colleague, who's a friend, who is successful in this exact field that I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, right. And to appreciate, as Heather so beautifully does, and as I do, the work that it takes to bring something from being just a vision, not just, because that's divine, but something that's a vision, to bring it earthside takes a lot of work, a lot of worldly work.
Yeah.
And I've done it again and again and again, and I have more confidence in myself to do more of it. So that's where I'm at in my growing as an artist, is like, oh yeah, I can actually, like, my ideas are good and I can put them on the planet. It might take a little while, but I'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that feels exciting.
It feels to me like that makes the world a better place for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we all had spaciousness to do our versions of this.
Yeah.
And support, right? It's a special recipe that you need.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it a long time while not believing I was doing it. And now I'm like, oh. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah. What have I forgotten to ask?
So I don't know what the question would be for this, but the thing that I want to share is that what we think of as community singing music, the genre of community singing music, is really new. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, or like what that actually means for having a genre that's so new. So community singing is not new. It's been since the dawn of humans.
Yeah.
And more indigenous remembering cultures already know about it. It's not like, oh, we invented this cool new idea. But there's been this interesting cultural shift because it blew up so quickly and it coincided with so many big cultural changes and political movements and awakenings and protests and stuff. And people have been very jumpy about like, ooh, I don't want to sing songs that are not of my culture. I don't want to sing songs that are not in English. And I get why. I've scaled back a lot too, partly because I don't feel like most crowds are ready for it without having a strong reaction in the crowd if you do it. And then you get to spend time doing the repair work that we talked about, and the holding, and the, there's disclaimers and there's context, and there's like, actually, I want you to know about me as a song leader that I deeply care and respect about any song that I carry being as closely rewoven to its source as possible. And that's part of what my song library is about, is having that continual updated learning, where the songs that have traveled so far and maybe gotten changed or lost their stories along the way, that they actually get that repair in my care to the best of my ability. So I care about that a lot. But all that context doesn't reach every single ear, even if you say it before you teach a song. Right. So somebody's going to not be listening or checking their phone or whatever, and then somebody might have a reaction. So this idea of like, oh, I'm never going to teach in English, or I'm never going to teach world music, or I'm never going to teach something that's not of my culture, or that I didn't write, or that my friends didn't write. I think that there's these are just extremely reactionary times, and people are feeling really sensitive about not wanting to appropriate, which I think is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that we just hold some complexity around, like, actually people who've been doing this a long time, like longer than the genre is old, absolutely carry and connect with and have been in reciprocity and right relationship with songs from around the world. And some songs from certain cultures are absolutely meant to be shared. And people, like in the example I gave of this South African choir being like, yeah, go sing it. Like, we want this to be shared. And some songs are like, please don't do that. Like, please, please, please don't do that. And some songs are like, wow, we didn't mean to let that out of the gates, and now it's all over the world. And so actually you can be of service potentially by connecting with the people who originated the song and teaching it correctly with the correct story. Depending. It just depends. It's all context. But I feel really strongly about song sourcing and song carrying and the work of oral tradition and how much lineage is in that we not be, as the culture moves fast, leaving pieces of it behind. The whole point is the context and the story of the song, who the song came from, and how we connect to it. Yeah, I just wanted to say something about that.
I remember one of the early teachings that I learned from indigenous people in the States. And it came, I think, both from the Diné people and Potawatomi people, was about naming people by relationship. That one of the most important things you do always is know who somebody is in relationship with you. And that's part of the linguistic recognition. And I remember thinking, about these songs that we're carrying, that's a little bit of the work that we're doing as well. It's that the relationship that we bear to the song is important, and the lineage of the song is important. Where the song comes from, how it's been changed, how it arrived, that all of those things are important part of the story and part of the song, in addition to singing the song. That the song doesn't arrive as just a song, quote unquote.
Right.
It's a being.
Yeah, right. And they have their own mind sometimes. They will travel whether you want them to or not sometimes, or they will pop up and need to be sung whether you want to or not. They kind of have their own energy that way, for sure. And I think it's also important within this to note that, here we are writing layer songs and new rounds and all these beautiful things, and a lot of times not giving credit to what has influenced it. So we're like, oh, this is a new song. Okay, so I'll just teach songs in English, or I'll just teach songs. I'm not trying to mock anyone who's doing that. I totally think it's a valid choice. But this idea that well, those are safe, I also am going to call bullshit on, because I just think, no, we are all getting influenced and inspired by each other all the time, and you may not consciously even know what is inspiring you. It could be the energy of the land that you're walking. It could be the ghosts of the people who are in your family or around you as you pass through a town. It could be something you heard on the radio over and over again before you had cognitive memory. You don't know, but I think it's good to get curious and be like, I've written songs where I'm like, this one feels like it's influenced by something, or this one reminds me of this composer. And I've heard a lot of songs written particularly by white, or at least white presenting people, that are trying to do their best to re-encourage that connection with nature, but they sound very like they are pulling from Native American songs. And I'm like, there needs to be acknowledgement here. I'm not saying don't sing the songs, don't write the songs, but acknowledge and contextualize and get curious and really hold them with the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I think that feels like a good place to go to lightning round questions.
Yeah, sure.
What's an album that was really important to you?
I like mixed CDs.
Yeah. Did somebody give you a mixed CD that really counted? Can we credit the gifter?
Well, a whole pile of them just came to mind. I'll go with Mana. I like I don't remember which album it is. It's the album I listened to a lot in high school when I was learning Spanish.
Okay.
They just have these fabulous songs.
Great.
I don't know.
Okay. What is your favorite soup?
Primordial?
Primordial.
Primordial.
That's a first. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Not for eating, you know.
Yeah. It's kind of tough to eat, but thank God for it, right?
Thank God
so
for
to speak.
Right. Thank life for it. I don't
Thank
know.
life for it.
Thank it for life.
What is a sound you feel strongly about?
My child is a big fan of saying "Bring" right now, and it's ringing in my ears a lot. So I feel strongly about it.
Yes. Yes, I can hear that. Who is an artist you wished more people listened to?
Me? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, now you're on Bandcamp. We've got it.
I know, I've got one song. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's my answer. I feel like all of us working artists, listen to us more. You don't need to listen to the headliners. Please don't put people on pedestals. We're moving away from that culture. Just listen to artists. How about that?
Before we close, where can people find you and follow your projects?
Patreon.
Great.
Yeah, I love connecting with people on Patreon.
Can you spell out your name for people to search?
Sure. Yeah, it's Kaitie Ty. And then I don't even know if I have my last name on there, but my last name is Warren.
But it might be just Kaitie Ty.
I think it might be Kaitie Ty
Okay.
with the extra I.
Super.
Kaitie Ty with the extra I. Can I also say that people can follow me on Instagram too?
Super.
Particularly through my choir, which is just at Living Room Choir on Instagram.
Perfect. Huge thank you to you, Kaitie Ty with the extra I, for coming on A Breath of Song. And a huge thank you to you, our listeners. I'm so glad you're singing with us. You can visit abreathofsong.com to see show notes, as we've been talking about, with links, lyrics, Patty Piotrowski's glorious artwork. You can sign up to get artwork and music and musings in your mailbox. How beautiful is that? Be one of the generous people who put something in the gratitude jar to help cover costs. Before Patty or I is paid, 25% is donated to the Jazz Foundation of America, which directly supports jazz, blues, and roots musicians in need. The skill and the artistry of these musicians, as we were just talking about, has directly shaped much of the music that I share on this podcast. But historically, they've been inadequately recognized and unfairly recompensed. That's what prompted me to search out this particular organization to support. Let's sing What Have We Done again. Help it sink in more deeply. Does anybody remember those 5 parts? I have a request? Could you do the 5 parts sequentially on the looper first, one at a time, and then layer them up?
What have we done? 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 What can we do? And what have we done? What have we done? What have we done? What have we done? What and I fear we've gone so far. I fear we can't get back to who we are, and who we are is simple. We remember we're all one, and I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending. And I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending.
waiting for me to write the ending. And I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending. And I know there's a story waiting for me to write the ending.
Kaitie, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners and singers, for joining Kaitie and me for a breath of song. I'm grateful that you're taking care of yourself and listening to your voice. I believe making a better world starts with tuning into ourselves and each other, which is what we just did, so yay us.
All of us.
If you're liking this podcast, please share with a friend, and next time we'll plant another song. Until then, be well.